Welcome to Dice Tower Live.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
Jason Levine.
Alrighty, well, we are here. It is Monday. It is December 17th. Jason decided to 14 days ahead of time give us top 10 of the year. Well, I mean, obviously we did ours much earlier than that.
I got in a few more games than you guys did, so my list might be a little different than yours.
I think your list will be different than ours anyway. So, Jason made this list, what, like 4 days ago, 5 days ago, a week ago?
I made the list 5 days ago. Right before the second Dice Tower retreat, I made the list. So, there's actually a game that I played in the second Dice Tower retreat that I'm going to be changing into this list.
Well, just tell
on
people
the
what
fly.
it is. This list would have made it. What game would have made it had you made the list today?
Smartphone Inc.
All right, yay!
Which you liked too, didn't you?
I do like Smartphone Inc. a lot.
Yeah.
Didn't make my top 10, but it's very good. That's because it's such a good year.
It would make my top 10. It would have made my top 10, probably around number 8, 9, or 10, somewhere near the top of the list. But it's a game that plays sort of like Power Grid in a way, where you're controlling the economy and the people who are selling for less get to do actions first, and people who are selling for more make more money. So it's got a Power Grid mechanic. It's got a food chain magnate mechanic. I really, really like this game. I played it 3 times this weekend, and I'm looking forward to playing it more.
Alrighty. Well, let's get started with number 10.
So my number 10 is a game that I don't know if it got released here yet or not.
Since I don't know what number 10 is, I'm going to say yes.
But even if it's not been released here, it's a game that I really enjoy. It's kind of a bidding game mostly. There's a few other mechanics, but it's mostly a bidding game, and it's Raccoon Tycoon.
All right, good choice. Great game. Really, this is that high on your list?
Oh, I also played this at both Dice Tower retreats, I think like 5 times. I mean, I like bidding games, and this is one of the most fun bidding games that I've played in a long time, because it doesn't just have the bidding aspect, it also has a whole stock aspect. And as you can see, I like stocks. I like stock markets.
Yeah, but usually you like heavier stock market games. This is not a heavy game at all. It's a fairly light one.
No, but this is, every time I played this, everyone at the table was laughing, having a good time. It's a kind of game that makes you want to have a good time. It's not the kind of game that is a deep, serious stock game, but it has a good stock market aspect. I mean, you're powering up things, but you're also taking other materials. Then you have to sell right before other people sell, and then you take all that money, and then you go crazy bidding on these railroads, and the houses do a lot of cool things. But then at some point you realize, oh wait, I bought too many houses and didn't get enough railroads. But I really, really like this one.
All right, cool. Well, so far I agree with Jason. Good choice, good choice. Number 10.
So my number 9 is something I think you'll also agree with me, because
I think I'll agree with all his games.
Maybe you'll agree with all of them, but this is the first crossover game. It's a game that was on, I guess, 2 of your top 10 lists a couple weeks ago, and it's a game that I really enjoy.
Trying to think what I crossed over with them on. Rising Sun?
No, Chronicles of Crime.
Oh yeah, me and Jason played Chronicles of Crime together.
Yes, and I remember like growing up and playing all those old point-and-click games like Monkey Island and all those little discovery games where you kind of decide what you want to do. Do you want to talk to the person, or do you want to steal from the person? And this is just an open-ended game where you're going around exploring, finding out clues about people, and you put those clues together, and you eventually hopefully solve the mystery. And I just found it fascinating. I always liked Sherlock Holmes, Consultant Detective a lot, and I think that this is the next level. This is the future of what gaming can be.
Well, see, now I'm curious because I don't know your list. I'm wondering if this is higher or Detective's higher, or where you put them on the list. Well, if Detective's not on your list, you can say so now.
Detective's not on my list.
Oh, okay.
And it's crazy because going into the year, Detective was my number 1 most anticipated game, and I did enjoy it very much. So just because it didn't make my top 10 doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy it. But Chronicles of Crime is on a whole different level.
Someone here has mentioned I'm interested in Raccoon Tycoon, but I worry about replayability. I played it, I think, 10 times now, and I'm still pretty happy with it. It's such a fast game. It's kind of like Century Spice Road.
Yeah.
You just do a quick turn, boom, 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 and you're to do something slightly different each time, but it's a lot of fun.
And the order the buildings comes out really changes things up. Because each building does such unique but cool things. If the $5 for the auction building comes out early, then you might want to hold off on auctions, and other people might hold off because, hey, that person can keep getting $5, and then they'll pile up the money quickly. So I think a lot of it depends on the building order, which will change the game each time.
All right. Well, anyway, we're back at Chronicles. That was Raccoon Tycoon. Now we're at Chronicles of Crime. Great game. Fantastic game. I love it. But it was my number 2. What could be better than this?
8 more things.
Baloney. All right, what do we got? Let's go to number 8.
Baloney or baloney?
Bologna. Go ahead.
Anyway, my number 8 is a game that we played a while ago. I think the first time that we played it was back at the Gathering. And
is it a party game?
No, it's not a party game. It's a game that we played at the Gathering for the first time, and I enjoyed it so much there, and I've played it a lot of times since. And it's, I like your face because you're kind of confused trying to figure it out.
No, I don't know.
It's Gizmos.
Oh, I didn't play Gizmos at the Gathering, that's why.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I thought you had played it too.
I didn't play it until CMON-Con.
I had played Gizmos like 5 times at the Gathering, and I think I played it at least 20 or 30 times
Well, you
since.
like engine building games.
I do like engine building games, and this is such a great engine building game. When I first saw it, the first thing I thought is, oh, they're doing another game in the Potion Explosion line. And then I realized it is nothing to do with Potion Explosion, and this is actually a whole tech tree building up. You're pulling the marbles you need to buy things, and Gizmos is just a wonderful game. It is a great engine building game, and the only thing that I have a problem with is it feels like it ends too quickly. I wish that you could pile up even more cards in the game.
Oh, because, yeah, no, I get that. I think it probably ends at the same point. If you like, well, remember how much Jason likes Gizmos next year when we talk about other games. This is interesting to me, though. This is the 3rd game in your top 10, and all 3 are fairly medium or light games.
Yeah, so far.
All right.
There's other games on the list. I mean, not every game's a heavy game. And,
well, I know that. In fact, I'd argue that most games aren't.
Yeah, and this year the heavy games, there was not as many.
Only a couple, really.
There was only a couple. There weren't that many this year.
All right, let's move to 7. Number 7.
So number 7, I didn't play it with you the first time. Usually every game I play with you the first time, or most games. Obviously not Gizmos either, but this is one that you had told me about, but I played it with someone else. And I like deduction a lot, as you can tell from number 9. And this one is Cryptid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I told you about this. Wow, another medium game. What is this world coming to?
But it's deduction, and I love deduction. I love trying to puzzle solve. I like the fact that you have to decide, do you want to go for the guess and give away something, or do you want to try to ask someone a question and have to give away negatives? I love the advanced game where there's some negatives, some positives, so you don't know if the circles are the good thing or the squares are the good thing, depending if they have a negative or positive question. There's so many fascinating things about this game, and the replayability is off the charts in this one.
Sheets or no sheets?
I personally think you should use sheets. I know
Really?
you're anti-sheet. Well, here's the thing.
I'm anti-sheet.
Here's the thing. For those who are AP prone, maybe me sometimes. Yeah. Instead of sitting there and looking at the board and going, they don't have this, it can't be this, it can't be this, I'd rather just check it off because it saves time. I don't think you need the sheets, but it saves time if you have the sheets. So I'm a fan of just using the check sheets because it speeds up the gameplay.
All right, fair enough. Number 6.
So number 6.
Give me a heavy game, or you're not Jason. You're an imposter.
This is medium. This is probably lightweight. I don't know where it is in heaviness, but this is a game that has been out a while, but we've only acquired it recently here at Dice Tower. And
that could be anything.
And I played this for the first time at PAX. And since then, I've played it probably about 7 times. It's the Quacks of Quedlingburg.
Oh, you played it the first time there? Oh!
Yes. Yes, remember we played it at the Teach Role Player Game Night.
Oh, that's right. I was Teach Role Player. He plays Quacks.
So, I didn't realize how good this game was. Tom didn't want to review the German version because it wasn't out yet, but now that North Star's put it out, we got the copy at PAX.
My review is scheduled. It's coming.
And this game is phenomenal. It's got a lot of things I like in a game. It's got push your luck, but in a really good way. It's a bag builder, so you could decide what you're putting in your components, and it just works so well. You have kind of a pot of ingredients, and some of them are bad, and you're counting them up, and if you hit a certain point, your pot explodes. But you have all these cool ingredients that do all these cool powers, and you're bag building these powers, and as you're drawing, you're hoping to get those and not get the ones that explode your pot. It is a really fascinating game. It is one of my favorite push your luck games of all time, I think, at this point.
No, I think that's a reasonable thing to say.
And I can see why it won one of the Spiel des Jahres this year, because it is that wonderful. Wolfgang Warsch has hit it out of the park. It won the Kennerspiel.
Did it?
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. It did.
He hit it out of the park. And between this and Illusion in the Mind and Clever, this guy has been amazing. I mean, this guy, first time designer, I think. Like, all his games came out this year. And I don't know where he came from, but he knows how to make games.
Well, let's see. I played 3 of his games, I think. I played this one, played The Mind, and the one with the numbers.
Clever.
Oh.
And Illusion.
Illusion's one with the numbers, and Clever von Ganshan. That's right. That's
Yes.
4. That's a pretty good year, actually.
I know, for anyone. And you know, pretty incredible year. And he's got that other one that we just picked up, Fiji, which should be arriving here soon.
Yeah, well, we can hope. All right, well, we're done with half the list and still no heavy games. What is this? Number 5.
So, I don't know if this is a heavy game or not. And I'm nervous now because you're probably going to say it's not heavy enough.
Well, I don't care if it, I'm just kidding. I don't really care.
No, I know. Well, I'm finding...
Is it a board game?
It is a board game.
Then it's legitimate.
So, this is a game that you had told me I needed to play for a while. Another one of those games that you told me I needed to play for a while.
A lot of games.
And after I played it, I absolutely adored it. I didn't like their first game as much, even though I liked it, where I was known as The Cave, and this is Root.
Oh, yeah, man. I was really surprised it took you so long to get this one, and you were like, get around. But I was like, it's Cold World. You like his stuff.
I know. I mean, I like John Company, and the thing is, I liked Vast, but I didn't love Vast. Not as much as you did.
No, well, no, I like it a lot, but I probably won't play it again after playing Root. I know they're different games, but Root is just...
Root is phenomenal. I mean, it takes everything I like in games. It takes the area control of a game like, I guess, sort of like El Grande or anything else. It takes that whole moving around the map, like the small world thing where you're trying to conquer territories, and it has unique, every single one of those is unique. You know, some of them have programmed movement, some of them have, you know, you're trying to sleaze in later, some of them have you just go all over the board, and the traders, the 2 extra powers.
Who's your favorite faction?
I personally like the birds because I like programmed movement, so I really like the birds.
The birds are so dangerous. You can just all of a sudden go blow
I
up.
know, and you have like 8 cards programmed, and all of a sudden you have 1 card programmed again, but they're fun. Like, trying to manage the programming, I think, is really cool. But I've played now 4 of the 6 factions, and I really, really like it. I can't wait to play all 6, and I'm looking forward to more when more factions come out for this, because Root is...
Really? I think I'm okay. There's 4... even if there already is the expansion.
Yeah.
That's 6 factions. I feel like that's enough.
I want like 10 or 12. I want lots for this. Root is...
I want more!
This game could live on with faction after faction.
I think it's going to live on regardless.
But live on even more. I mean, what they need to do is they
live
need to
on even more.
I could imagine when they sit there and try to figure out how do we incorporate a completely new dynamic into a game and make it work in this kind of game, because this is a true territory control game and it's very different than Vast, and I don't know how they did it, but they did it and it's phenomenal.
All right. Number 4.
Number 4. So is Root heavy or not?
I think it's heavy-ish. I mean, again, I think you and your ilk always say that games that are medium are light and games that are heavy are medium, and only the ultra-heavy games are heavy. I think Root is a pretty hefty game to get into. It's not as hard as, say, a coin game.
Yeah.
But it is a coin game.
Yeah, it plays like a coin game very much. Now, since I asked about heavy, I have to tell you about, there's a game that I've loved for years.
Great.
And it's called Zolkin.
You told this game that.
Yeah, it's called Zolkin. Zolkin,
Well, then I already
love
know what
you.
your number 4 is.
And I love the mechanics of Zolkin. I love the gears.
But I want to hear you say it.
And he designed a new game. It's called
Say it.
Teotihuacan,
Not
City
bad,
of Gods.
I think.
And this game is kind of the spiritual successor to Zolkin.
All right.
When I first heard the explanation of everything, I came over to you and said, it's exactly Zolkin.
Yes,
and
that
then
is
you,
exactly what he did
and
say.
then you said, play it and you'll feel it's a spiritual successor. And it really is. I mean, they took away the gears and the worker placement, and they put in this new mechanic where you're bouncing around the board to different territories.
It's a giant rondelle.
Yes, a rondelle. But the rondelle is cool because you're powering up your dice. As they get higher, you get better things, but eventually they get killed off, and you get something for killing them off, but then they start back at 1 again, and you got to work your way up again. And whether you leave dice in an area and then slide in, or whether you move your dice around at smaller numbers, there's so many choices in this game. And what things you do and how you do it, there's so many paths to victory in this, and there's so many things you can do. He really took Zolkin, which was already a great game, one of my favorite games, and he made it even better with this, I think.
I agree. At the retreat, I've been challenging people to finish the temple, and one group did, but that's not a very common thing. Now I want to see someone finish temple and do all the floor pieces.
Well, our group didn't finish the temple because I built 7 of the 8 floor pieces, and then they wouldn't build the temple any higher because I kept building floor pieces. So there were 8 floor pieces, and they wouldn't build the temple any higher because they were scared that I would build more floor pieces because I was doing a money strategy in that game.
Did you win?
Yes.
What a shocker.
No, not that much shocker.
I saw Jason get beat several times over the last week.
He did. You don't win everything. I mean, no one wins everything.
What do you mean you don't win everything? I don't win anything. I did win Cosmic.
You did win a few things.
All right.
He won Cosmic.
Teotihuacan. All right, cool.
Teotihuacan.
There we go. Well, that's better than what we said when we opened up the promo thing. Number 3. Dude. Yeah, I posted that clip. Go ahead.
Did you? I did a robot for Dude recently. Dude is not my number 3, though.
Dude better not even be in your top 10.
It's not.
All right.
Sweet?
No.
But this one is another one that we played more recently than not. We picked it up at Essen.
Is it a... Well, I mean, there's only one game I have left in my head that's on your list, and I know it's not this one, I don't think.
So it's designed by a great designer who decided to, I guess, start his own company. I wasn't sure why.
Oh, never mind. Then I do know what this is.
He used to work. He used to do all his games for Czech Games, and he decided to do this one in his own company. And
he was getting the first name. They said they couldn't be 2 people named Vladimir.
But this is Vladimir Suchi's game. It is Underwater Cities.
I knew this would be in your top 10. I know you like it. This is your style game, dude.
This is totally my style game.
Otters has great choices so far.
Who does?
Otters has great choices so far.
Yeah, I mean, everything doesn't have to be heavy to be good.
Of course they're great.
Everything doesn't have to be heavy to good, but this one is heavy, and this one is mighty, and this one is amazing. And I dare not say it, or maybe I will say it. This might be the Terraforming Mars killer, because it's got the card mechanics, but it's got the action selection and all sorts of things that I think are even cooler than Terraforming Mars. I love Terraforming Mars, don't get me wrong, but this with the action selection and the way you play your cards is even cooler, if you can say that.
It's good. It just doesn't have that. Terraforming Mars is really easy.
Yes.
This one is. I like Terraforming Mars on producing every turn. This one you produce 3 times over the game. It's just not as flowing for me. I like it a lot, don't get me wrong. I just, no. And I guarantee you, sales / everything else, it will not be Terraforming
No, I don't
Mars.
think it'll be Terraforming Mars in that. But for those of you who like heavy games, if you like Terraforming Mars, you will very much like this one, and probably more like I do.
If you like Terraforming Mars with all the expansions, then you'll probably like this. But if you feel like Terraforming Mars, and if you don't like drafting in Terraforming Mars, you just want to just play you can play Terraforming Mars lightly.
Yeah.
And if that's how you play it, then I don't think you would like this.
No, this one's a true heavy game, and the card mechanics are great. The building your little infrastructure, the theme of it, everything about this game, I love. And action selection, it felt tight too because you have to. It's right over there.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at the shelf.
The action selection and the piling up, someone took the action. Now I can't build a biosphere this turn because someone else did it. And it's one of those tight games, and I just absolutely love it. And that's why it made one of my top games of the year.
Oh, I thought, this was the one I was sure. I just thought maybe this would be 1 or 2. Apparently I'm wrong.
No, there's other games that I enjoyed just a slight bit more this year.
Number 2!
So my number 2 is a game that we first played at Gen Con.
Did I even play a game at Gen Con?
Yeah, and since then I've acquired 2 Horseman decks.
Oh, really? This is that high?
Yes. Keyforge. I love this game. I mean,
I like it. Wow.
I used to play Magic back in the day.
You told me you hated the idea of this game. You argued with me for a long
time. I
time
do hate the
about
idea of this game. Because I'm a collector and I hate the idea of this game.
Well, you don't own every deck.
No, I bought a 12 pack.
In a few years, all 1 million decks, Jason will somehow have owned them all.
I thought it was like 1 quadrillion or something decks. I thought there was some ridiculous amount. No, I bought a 12 pack and somehow there were 2 Horseman decks in there. So I was like, ooh, Horseman decks. I'm so excited. But I was excited before. I know, we might sell them. But the actual game, the game mechanics is great. And
it really is a good game, and I'm surprised that people keep yelling about it, and the game itself is a solid game.
Yes. I don't like the sales model at all. I'd rather deck build.
You bought how many decks already?
12. I bought 1 pack, 1 box.
That's the only box you've bought?
Yes.
No, you bought 2 boxes.
Okay.
What? Well, I know you bought 2 boxes.
I was going to buy 1 box.
The lie is on camera.
Okay. Here's the thing. I was going to buy 1 box, and then I told him, and this is a true story, so you guys know this. I had pre-ordered a box from Cool Stuff, but they hadn't come in yet. So we were at the other Cool Stuff store in South Florida, or was it the one in Hollywood? I forget. We were in the one in Hollywood, one of them. And I said to you, you bought 1 pack. And I said, why don't you just buy a whole 12 pack? And you said, no. And I said, then I'll buy the 12 pack. And that was the 2 Horseman deck. Because you remember me opening up going, it's a Horseman deck. It's a Horseman deck. But I wouldn't have bought the second one. And I did buy a base box. And I have the 2 other decks they gave us at Gen Con. So I have 28 decks. I wanted enough decks. I wanted a 12 pack to have enough decks to have all 7 factions.
So let's say they come out. Well, we know they're going to come out with an expansion. Let's say they come out with another set.
I know it's going down the rabbit hole. It is, and you can't collect it all.
It's not as bad as a rabbit hole as let's say a collectible card game, because I sit there and I have 14 decks that are in the Dice Tower library, and I'll play with any of those 14 decks. I don't care. I don't feel I'll get a few more probably as time goes by. Maybe I'll pick one up.
You bought one that day.
Well, sure I did, but I mean I don't feel this compulsion that I need to have a gazillion of these.
No, I feel like having what I have now. I feel like I don't need any more Keyforge. I mean, I have all 7 colors, or all 7, whatever they're called in it, so I can play a variety of things. And now let me tell you about what I like about the game. Forget about how much we buy, because eventually you're gonna just realize you don't need to buy that much. But what I like about it and why it's so good and why it's number 2 on my list. I always liked Magic, but the part about having 3 different things in each deck and deciding, do I want to play cards at hand, or do I want to trigger the creatures that are out, and which of the 3 I play each turn, is what makes this game so great. Because you have a choice there, and the choices lead you down a path of whether you're going to do well or whether you're not going to do well with your deck. I don't know how I feel about the handicapping. I don't know how I feel about a lot of things yet, but I absolutely love the mechanics, and I love the way the game plays.
All right, cool. Keyforge, number 2. And finally, number one. I still don't have any idea.
So,
Did you play it at the retreat for the first time?
I did not play it at the retreat for the first time.
All right.
I played it back at Essen for the first time.
Well, what games came out at Essen that blew you away? What are the hottest games of the year? All right.
I'm going to give Tom a few seconds here to guess. You guys could all guess in the chat too, so we'll see. We'll see if Tom gets it or if anyone else gets it. What my number one is.
It's not going to be Everdell because I don't think you've even played that.
No, I haven't played Everdell.
All right. Well,
you want me to give you?
Is there any games that you can talk about meanwhile that just missed your list?
That's what I was going to do. So let me tell you about a few games that just missed my list, as I was just going to do that. Before I do that, let me tell you about the 3 games that I didn't get to play yet that I'm curious if they would have made my list, which are 18 Lilliput, Magnastorm, the new Fireland game, and Captains of the Gulf, the new Spielworks game. But those haven't come back from Essen yet, so I haven't played them.
Well, let me tell you some games I thought would be on your list and are not.
Okay.
Okay.
Which might be still?
No. I thought Coimbra would be on your list, but there's no way you played Coimbra at Essen for the first time.
No, and Coimbra is on my just after number 10 list.
Okay. You thought Founders was too complex, Founders of Gloomhaven. Yeah, that wasn't
I liked
high.
Founders a lot.
Did you? But
Yeah.
you weren't it wasn't top 10 for you, I know that.
No.
Also, I was with you when you first played that, so it can't be that one.
Exactly.
Lowlands, no.
Well, while you're going through that, I'm going to tell you about some of the games.
Is it a light game or a bigger game?
I'm not going to tell you. I
If
don't want to give you hints.
If it's a light game.
If it's a light game, what?
No, because that came out at Gen Con.
So let me tell you.
I'm guessing. Okay, go ahead.
Well, guess first, and then I'll tell you.
I'm
the ones
guessing
you missed.
Brass Birmingham.
Okay, no, it's not Brass Birmingham. But let me tell you about some of the games that just didn't make my list, but I really enjoyed this year. Gonchon's Clever.
Got it right.
Which great little roll and write game. Azul Stained Glass of Sintra.
Right.
Also a great game. Raycolt. I thought you were going to say that.
No, that game's too. I mean, I like Raycolt, but it's too samey.
It also barely missed. Space Base barely missed.
What? You like Space Base that much?
I like Space Base a lot.
Jason's and my most crossover this year, I think, than ever.
Space Base is kind of the better version of Machikoro, by far.
All right, well, there's no way you played Welcome to at Essen for the first time.
No, I didn't.
That came at Gen Con.
Welcome to is not my number one either, but Welcome to is great. A few other quick ones. War Chest, I really liked this year.
Oh, yeah.
Pandemic Fall of Rome.
Remember when we whooped him at War Chest? I remember that moment fondly.
Yeah, he's talking to Melody off camera. They did whoop me. Pandemic Fall of Rome.
I haven't played that one.
I played it like 4 times at the retreat. Crown of Amara, which we played at the retreat. Also,
so you did like that one. Okay, cool.
I did. Symphony No. 9, I played at the retreat and loved it as well. And 2 hefty games that came out at the beginning of the year, Rising Sun and Lords of Hellas.
Okay, well, this only leaves one heavier Euro game left.
And what is it?
Blackout Hong Kong.
No.
That's not even your top 10? You're a Pfister fanatic.
I am a Pfister fanatic, and I told you, I loved Blackout, but I felt Mombasa was better.
Oh, so what?
No, my number one game of the year, and I've been championing this one since Essen, is Majolica.
Oh, that's right. Duh, I should have known this because he was like weeping with tears of happiness after he played it.
Yes. I love this game. I've already said that this is the Azul Splendor Century Killer. This game beats them all. Most of you haven't seen this game yet because it came out from Taiwan Board Games, a little company in Asia. And I don't know, they don't have a U.S. distributor yet. This game deserves a U.S. distributor. I've been championing the fact that this game deserves a U.S. distributor. For those of you who don't know what the game's about, there's a splay of 16 tiles in the middle of the board, and there's 4 different color tiles. You need to either take a row of tiles or a single tile. If you take a row, you put them into one of 4 slots on your board, and in each slot, there's a special thing that you need to do. In the first slot, there's 6 tiles, and you need to get 3 of one and 3 of another. In the second slot, there's 6 tiles, you need to have 2, 2, and 2. In the third slot, you need 2 and 2, and in the fourth slot, you need 4. When you get those, you drop the tiles up onto cards that you're collecting along the way, and you can chain react one into the other, and do chain reactions of these. And it's a light game. It plays well. It is amazing. Have you played it yet?
I still haven't played it.
You haven't? I know Z liked it.
I'll play it on the cruise. How's that?
Z really liked it. You have to play it on the cruise. Z liked it. Eric liked it. Everyone that's played it has liked it. Everyone I played it with.
Yeah, but Z said it was good, but not as great as you said it was. Eric was more in your camp.
I know Eric's in my camp on this. The only reason he said that is because he likes Pandemic better than anything. So, how could you trust someone who only puts Pandemic on the list?
By the way, some people here in the comments are saying, "Oh, you picked a, one no one's ever heard of, or Boo Shenanigans." Balagna on that. Because I know Jason, if he thought a popular game was popular, he would say he picked Keyforge for number 2 for crying out loud. You can't say he's picking obscure stuff just to pick obscure stuff. That's nonsense. We pick games here based on how much we like them. I don't care if it's obscure or not. If we want to pick obscure games, I got games on the shelf that no one's ever heard of and no one ever will.
No. Trust me. I want all of you who are saying that, if you're saying that, I want you to get this game. I want someone to pick this up. I want a company to pick this up. I want you all to have it in your hands. That's how much I like this game.
There are some people who said they are surprised that you picked no Feld this year. Neither Feld made your list.
Should we talk about the Felds, I guess, since we have
the one
a
is
few minutes
Carpe
here?
Diem.
Carpe Diem was pretty good. It's a light game, and it's
beautiful.
No, it's not beautiful. It's got a little too much randomness for me.
And then Forum Trajanum?
Forum Trajanum I did not like at all. And
me too.
I love Stefan Feld. I just, this wasn't his year, and I feel bad.
Why? I don't think Stefan Feld is watching this. I hope Jason picks my games.
He might be watching this. I feel bad because I love his games. But these ones didn't live up to some of his other games, which was really sad. Uwe, on the other hand, had a really good year.
No, he didn't.
Raycolt was really good.
No, it wasn't.
Well, Spring Meadow was just an addition. Oh, and there was also, he released the Caverna expansion and the Feast of Odin expansion. I just wanted to see your face when I brought those two up. So let me tell you a little story about Essen here. They ran out of the Caverna expansion and the Feast for Odin expansion before I could pick them up for review copies. So Tom unfortunately did not get either one yet, and you know how much he loves both of those games.
Man, see, I didn't even care. Jason would be like, I got 20 more games. I was like, I don't care. I just wanted those 2 expansions. That's okay. I can wait. They'll come out. They'll be out soon enough.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, says Feld just shed a tear watching. Anyhow, all righty, folks. Well, thanks for watching Jason's his top 10 games of the year. Any quick questions for him before we pop out?
Yeah, ask questions. We have time. I'll answer everything.
Well, once you said the number 1, the numbers started going down. I guess people are like, what's number 1? Got it. I'm out.
And Majolica sales have gone through the roof since then.
I don't know where you can even buy it, actually.
Taiwan Board Game sells it on their site.
No, maybe.
Shipping from...
Otter says Jason may have put out one of the most well-rounded lists of 2018.
Well, thank you, Otter. Any other comment? I mean, thank you, Otter, for...
Any other compliments? Would anyone else like to say anything good about me?
No, I mean, it was a good year. I mean, it wasn't... I don't quite agree with you that this year was the greatest year ever.
I didn't. No, I'm not. I like to clarify. I'm not saying this is the greatest year ever. I'm saying that at this point in time, and this includes 2017, 2016, and probably 2015, so many good games come out that you cannot say things like, oh, there's just nothing good coming out this year. That's insane to say.
No, there's always good games out.
I don't think this is the greatest year ever. I mean, I still think 2012 was probably the greatest year of gaming ever, but who knows? I mean, you have to look at these things in retrospect. But I think I'm doing tomorrow. I'm going through my top 100 games, and it's easy to do. I knocked off at least 50 games that I liked.
We're going to have to play Majolica before you finish the list.
All right, when's the Guinness Book of World Records going to happen?
I'm going to start videoing them next year, so hopefully soon. That is something that I'm going to do for sure this coming year.
Why would the brass not make the list?
Well, I love brass, but Birmingham was similar to brass, and I'm not big on putting expansions into my lists in general because if you have regular brass, Birmingham is more of the same. It's the same reason I didn't put Azul in my list.
What about Escape Tales: The Awakening?
Okay, Escape Tales: The Awakening is now my favorite escape room board game there is. It is deep. It has more than just a normal escape room. It has, I hope this doesn't spoil anything, but it has choose your own adventure parts to it.
Yeah, it doesn't spoil.
So you could play it multiple times and end up with different endings. And it is so worth the time put into it. We played this at the retreat and we spent 3.5 to 4 hours. I played it with 2 other people and I didn't want to get up from my seat the whole time. I was so immersed in the story in this. And other escape rooms just feel like, unlocks are cool, but it feels like, oh, here's a 22 and a 57. Let's stick it together and what do we get? This one, the story was so much better. And Time Stories have good stories, but this was even better than Time Stories.
It has actually felt like Time Stories. That's a good comparison.
Yeah, Time Stories is a close comparison, and this was better than Time Stories.
What about, someone said Architects of the West Kingdom?
I didn't play it yet.
Oh, Fireball Island.
Fireball Island is fun, but it's not a top 10 game. Fireball Island is, yes, I'm going to say it, it's more of a toy than a game, but it's a lot of fun to play.
What's your favorite convention of the year?
My favorite convention of the year? Well, I was going to say Dice Tower Cruise, but
you can't do Cruise because he runs it, so you're not allowed to say that.
Well, I was going to say, unfortunately, the cruise didn't happen in 2018.
Well, that's true. There was no 2018 cruise.
Because we're doing it in December and January. So my favorite convention this year was probably The Gathering.
Oh, yeah, it's always The Gathering.
It's mostly always The Gathering because we get to see all these games like Gizmos and other games before they get released to the public and before they're even finalized, and we get to play them. And then when you see them come out a few months later, you're like, yeah, I remember that, and I remember all the cool things about it. So it's still my favorite convention.
Well, that's it, folks. We're going to end this one here. Thanks to Jace for coming on and sharing his top 10 with us. We'll be back with live stuff all week. Tomorrow, I'll be doing my live top 100 games of all time. I'll be doing it in 2 different videos, so I have a break in between there. On Wednesday, I'll be doing my top 10 expansions of the year. Thursday, me, Sam, and Z will be doing our top 10 gaming experiences of 2018. And I'm doing something on Friday. I don't remember what, but you can go look at these live things. They're all scheduled. Go to DicetowerLive.com if you ever want to see what our live stuff has been or will be. So until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
Jason Levine, the gaming machine.
And you've been watching The Dice Tower.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games